All right, this seems to be working. Good morning. My name is Brian Snyder. I'm the founder of Your Body Never Lies and the Your Body Never Lies College, which is online now and open. We have some new equipment today, so the picture should look better. Might get weird. The picture should look better. Sorry, I've got a sound issue. Hold on. Yeah, that should be better. So, Your Body Never Lies is a body language training system. We work specifically on our internal body language. So, what we do are exercises that shift the messages that our body gives us. And the messages that we begin shifting are the messages that create suffering. Because at the end of the day, what is not fun about life and having a body is the body giving us shitty messages about ourselves, right? So if you're falling asleep about stress and you think you did something wrong, or that you're not enough in some way, or that you're not going to be able to do something that you have to get done soon, those are all, that chatterbox, that's all a function of your internal body language, and it's there for a reason. It doesn't have to be there. It's a little bit of a software glitch that was created by early trauma. So at the Your Body Never Lies College, we unravel that trauma, we quiet down our chatterbox and gain control of our body language. And from there, we spring forward to learn about unconditional love, manifestation, unconditional connection, intuition, and lots of other things. Lots of, I call them, well, they're not necessarily powers, but they are abilities, our abilities to stretch out and understand other people. When that expands, then we ourselves expand. And that sort of expansion is possible when our internal body language is positive rather than negative. And anyway, that's what I'm about. That's what the college is about. I'm streaming here today to answer questions. Not sure who may be watching or who may have a question, but I also have students on Zoom in from the college. And if they have a question, then I'd be happy to answer it. And I don't know if they do. So, any questions?
Can you hear me okay?
Now I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Oh, wait. It's not going to work.
Hold on.
You'll need to chat your question in. Sorry about that. You'll need to type your question. Can you hear me? Okay, doesn't matter. So the end result of this Your Body Never Lies training is calmness and stillness and an ability to just relax and be yourself, and without any need to stretch out and do anything or stretch out and become anyone else, nor is there any need to hide from who we are, nor do we, one thing we lose is our need to suppress those thoughts and feelings that we don't like about ourselves or about other people. The amount of energy that we all spend in denial is truly incredible. And it's pretty easy to notice when people go into denial about their alcoholism or how mean they are, or, whenever someone does something stupid, they usually try to pretend like they didn't. That takes effort. And when you, the word fix is incorrect, but when you straighten out your internal body language and you no longer have those negative messages, then you also no longer need to create coping mechanisms to deal with it. So you no longer need to explain yourself away. You no longer need to be in denial, no longer need to cope with anything, because who you are is actually pretty amazing and unique and perfect, regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in or believe that you find yourself in. The Your Body Never Lies College bases itself on the fact that your body always tells you the truth. When your body tells you that you're not enough, in the moment that you feel not enough is actually true. And that's the body language that matters. The thought that you're not enough is a lie. And once you get your body to recognize that the thought itself is a lie, then the feeling will shift. But as long as you believe that lie, you will continue to have that feeling. So I'd love to prove to you that the sense of not enough is a total lie. And actually, I'm going to have you prove it to yourself through exercises. And those exercises are going to reconnect you with the world, reconnect you with yourself, and you will find yourself in the present moment without a care or without a need to replay things that happened in your history a long time ago. That, you know, we tend to think that time heals all wounds, but all time does is bury the wounds. And then we forget what the wounds are, and then they actually impact us more. So, what we're doing is we're getting our body to let go of the impacts in our life that we have suppressed and buried that are actually impacting us today. When your body gives those things up, then you're no longer impacted today, at least not to the same degree. And, an inner happiness, an inner stillness, an inner je ne sais quoi, an inner sense of relief. And relief's not even the right word, because it's just, one of my students asked me, so what's the end result of YBNL? Because there's lots of bells and whistles and there's lots of fun stuff. I teach an intuition class that's amazing. I teach a personal space class that's really amazing. But at the end of the day, what matters is I can fall asleep when my head hits my pillow. My wheels don't spin. I don't worry about what happened yesterday. I don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. My self is here now, and I only jump to the past or future when I choose to. And that's a level of control that also is freedom. And I assume that that's why you're here. That's what you're looking for. And I am not going to give it to you by tapping on the forehead. I'm not going to give it to you by forcing you to read something or pray to some idol. You are going to give it to yourself by doing the exercises in a specific order with a specific intention. And when you do them, at the end, you'll suddenly realize that you're not suffering anymore. It's subtle work. I've just had people tell me they weren't sure it was working, and then all of a sudden they realized that they're in a situation where they used to suffer and now they're not. Whether it's waiting in line, you used to be like, oh man, I really don't want to do this. Now when we're present, it just doesn't matter. You have to wait in line. Good, we're waiting in line. Talk to your neighbor, play with a toy, have fun. The ability to not fall into the trap of these little micro sufferings and little micro traumas that our days constantly deliver us is the joy of YBNL. There's bells and whistles, there's fun things, but the training is all for inner peace. My teacher defined spirituality as his sense of innocence. And this is a guy whose intuition, he could look at you for 5 seconds and tell you your life history, how many brothers and sisters you have, what your job is, how much money you make, how big your debts are, how many operations you've had. He could just go on and on and on and on just by looking at your body. And I saw him snap his fingers to turn lights on and off in his house. And, and he did it in town too. And he showed me how to do it. It's pretty fun, actually. You're walking in town and you see a light flickering, with the right intention and the right tuning, you can get the light to either shut off or turn back on. I can do it with lights that are on edge going either way. He could do it with any light anytime. I was at his house. We were watching TV, and the TV would turn to snow if he started getting into meditation too much. So he would just open his eyes again, snap his fingers, and the TV would go back to normal. Your body's energy, what you feel, that's real energy. It's not just feelings or sensations. And when you learn to unpack your body language and learn to tune your body the way we used to tune radios in the 70s and 80s, you can really accomplish amazing things. And that's what the school does. The YBNL College, that's what we do. It's a mystery school. But the point of the college isn't the tricks. The point of the college is calmness and a sense of connection and a sense of knowing that you are a part of the whole. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that calmness and that ability to just take it all in and notice that you're already in a great place. So that's YBNL. Man, I got to turn the heat down. So, any questions about that? My eye's dark because I've got two screens to look at, just so there's no mystery. I'm looking for chat. I don't see any questions, so let me see. Let me see what's in chat. Can you talk a little bit about depression and YBNL, please? Oh boy. Sure. Well, depression. Well, I can talk about my depression and how I got out of it, and then if it resonates, maybe it'll make sense to you. So I was abused as a child, and the power differential caused me to be in a state of overwhelm constantly. And even today, it's still pretty easy for me to get into overwhelm. But I grew up in a state of overwhelm. And that sense of overwhelm is feeling that you're just this like little tiny thing in a really big world. That sense of being overwhelmed, when I would fight against it, it made me feel like I could accomplish things, like I could do something. But then I would get so far and then I would hit against my not enoughness. When I wasn't fighting against it, it would push me back in time. And so in getting pushed back in time is like your wheels start spinning and you start thinking, and all you can do is think, and you lose track of what's outside your body. And so I haven't processed this stuff in a while. So there were times when I would get pushed so far back in time and into my mind that I would get stuck in bed. I mean, that's depression. When you literally cannot get out of bed because your thoughts are just spinning so much that you can't even like get your hand or your legs to move because all your energy is going into not crying or not thinking about something. So how YBNL addresses this, geez, I haven't thought about this in 30 years. So I'll just process it right now so you can see what happens. So anytime we bring up anything from our past, right, that impacts us today, like this is impacting me right now, the reason it's impacting us isn't because it's happening right now. It's impacting us because our body believes that it's still happening, right? On some level, there's a part of my body, a part of my subconscious that believes that I am still in overwhelm. It believes that I'm still being abused, still being tortured, whatever. Watch my old videos, you'll hear what that's about. So when the body believes this, there's a reason that it believes it's still happening today. And the reason is that when it happened, I myself personally took it as evidence to prove that I was not enough. And here it is. If I'm in bed completely depressed and I can't get out of bed because I'm sad, because I think I've got no friends and I think I'm ugly and I'm stupid and whatever, I'm dying, which was another one of my things. When we take that as evidence to prove that we're not enough, then our subconscious goes, okay, that's evidence, and files it away. And now that bout of depression I had proves that I am not enough in some way. It's evidence. Evidence is ever dense. It's literally the heaviness that holds our shoulders either down or up, depending on how we do it. So when I spot this thing, like, oh my gosh, that's right. I remember I used to get depressed and stuck in bed. Thanks a lot for reminding me. But now I've just discovered an old piece of ever dense that my body's been holding on to. And you saw how it impacted like my state of, state of emotion, right? So now I'm recognizing that way back when that happened, I collected evidence that it was proving that I'm not enough. But from the YBNL Playshop, which you can do here for free on YouTube, and do the Playshop for free, and then come here on Saturdays and ask your questions and get through it. Because this is the gift. Once I recognized that depression, that I collected it as evidence, now I also recognize that it's evidence to prove a lie. The lie that I'm not enough is born from an earlier trauma, which we discussed in the play shop, and we discussed how that lie was created. Pretty much 99.99999% of us did it, and probably you too. You created this chain of evidence when you were very young, and now you've got to fight this chain of evidence. So I'm laying on the bed depressed, and it's proving that I'm not enough in some way, right? But it's also bringing up all the other evidence that I've ever collected that I'm not enough. So by recognizing that the evidence is proving a lie, that not enoughness is a total lie, and to put it very shortly, look, you're here, you are part of everything. And even if we get into quantum physics, you'll see like you cannot be separated from the world. But this collection of evidence makes you feel that you are separate from the world, right? It's intellectually, that that's a lie. But in the workshop, on the play shop here at YouTube, or if you come to the college, we take that intellectual information and we get it in the body. So your body understands it's a lie. Once your body gets that not enoughness is a total lie and impossible, then your body no longer collects evidence to prove that you're not enough. So depression's no longer hard. Like if I start going, oh man, this person doesn't like me, I do not take that as evidence that I'm not enough. Yeah, I don't even take it as evidence that I'm not enough for them in some way. It's not evidence of anything. All it means is that they don't like me. I don't need to know why. It probably has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them, right? But if I don't take it as evidence, I've got no reason to be depressed. Like there's no trigger. Without a collection of evidence, there's no weight to drag me down, to stick me in that bed to where I can't move anymore. And that's the beauty of YBNL. Get rid of your evidence. It's impossible to get depressed. Like literally, if you find yourself getting depressed, you just remember, oh yeah, this is all based on evidence. Bang, and it just goes away. I call it the cascade because evidence, the evidentiary cascade, begins at that first belief, that first time we thought we were not enough. And when we get back to that first place and realize that thought we had was an error, life changes dramatically. That's what this is about. So I'm not just repeating something that a teacher taught me. I've been to many, many teachers, many gurus, a few saints, a few Western style teachers, and I've spent 30 years working on this, primarily by working on myself and also by working on clients. I've had over 1,000 body language clients, sessions of which you can see on YouTube. I don't remember the name of the playlist, might be examples or private training. That's it. And it's just given me the confidence and the knowledge to apply this. And I've been able to apply it to everybody who's ever approached me for help. So come to the YBNLcollege.com, see if you'd like to join, check it out. Come to youtube.com/free-of-limits. That's my Your Body Never Lies channel. And sign up, subscribe, watch more videos, and eventually, please take the play shop, bring your questions back here and get through it. And listen, if you're depressed, you're looking for some way to get out of your funk or whatever, the YBNL program, if you do nothing else with your life, if you take 2 weeks off your job and ignore your friends, whatever, and you just focus on the play shop, it's still going to take 2 weeks to 2 months to complete because you have to sleep on the information. This information is not intellectual. It's body-centered. It's emotional. It's corporal. You have to feel it in your body, which means you need to think about the information and do the exercises, and you get to sleep on it. There's 37 videos. You watch 3 or 4 at a time, do the exercises, and then sleep on it. So that's a minimum of 10 days. But believe me, you're going to want at least 2 weeks. Take it. Come here, ask your questions. And you know what? Within 2-3 months, and you'll finish the play shop and you'll forget about me and you'll think maybe it didn't work, whatever. And then one day, all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm not suffering for this. And you'll remember like, oh my gosh, that worked. So it's subtle, it works, it's amazing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you through the material. Thanks a lot. I'm just going to check and see if there's any more questions. And thanks for that. I didn't expect to have to cascade my old depression today, but that felt pretty good. So thank you. I hope everybody got to see my transformation. I get that it is subtle, but it does happen. So hope to see you next week. And if you have any questions, meantime, come to yourbodyneverlies.org or the YBNLcollege.com. Thanks a lot.